Hello, everyone, and good day to you. I hope everyone out there is doing great, and welcome back to our ongoing series of how to set up and play the Avalon Adventure board game and Dungeon Crusade. This is Roger, of course, creator of Dungeon Crusade and the Avalon Adventure board game with Groovis Games Unlimited, and welcome. I hope everyone's doing great. Like I said, some new subscribers, welcome to the channel. I think Pierce, a very nice gentleman I met, he joined up. And before I forget, to stay up to date with all the videos, please consider subscribing by just clicking that button below. That way you will always be notified when new videos are coming out, and there's going to be a lot of videos coming out. There's a little kind of tiny announcement we're going to be making I think you're going to like. So please consider subscribing, and thank you. I'm going to start this video with this. Well, wait, let me start with this first. This video, of course, is going to be going into our upkeep phase, our encounter phase, and guardian phase. So we're going to have a really good time with this. And you know, if I just went right through this quickly, the video would probably only be about 2 or 3 minutes, to be honest with you. It's a very quick process with these 3 phases. But of course, I want to spend time with you, and I want to, we'll go through some encounters. I think we'll have some fun with that. We're going to talk about the Guardian phase, but I don't think this will be that long of a video, but I am going to go in depth for you with this. So as I was going to say, I have to share my excitement for you. I am in such an awesome mood, and I'm just happy, and I'm just full of vigor and energy. The reason is, and I don't want to get sidetracked with this because I'm going to give you an update video and spill all the beans for you, but a few hours ago, remember if you watched the last video, I said there was this new game variant. Well, that was revealed today, and it has a name now. This is, the game variant is called Evolved Minions, and judging by the response for it on many different boards, on Facebook and on Board Game Geek, a lot of people love the sound of this, and I am very passionate about what this is. So new people here, you're going to learn this, and I think it was kind of a decision that I talked to some people about. So I want you to know that after this video, I'm not going to make it part of the series, but I'm going to give you all guys an update of what's going on. Definitely discuss this new game variant that, I don't know if I told you, I'm super excited about, and I think a lot of people are excited to play this. But in a nutshell, the Evolved Minions there's just so many benefits. I might just wait for that because I'll get sidetracked. Some of you people know me, right? So after this, I'm just going to make an update video plus our card sleeves. We ship the sample cards out over to Panda Card Sleeves, so they're going to be working on that when they receive them. And so there's a lot of stuff. So please stay tuned for the update, and I have so much to share with you, and I'm very excited about this. So getting back to the task at hand for this video, and believe me, I want to talk more about Evolved Minions because I know you're going to love it. We are going to go over Upkeep phase, Encounter phase, and the Guardian phase now, okay? So what we're going to do is start with the Upkeep phase of a turn. And I'm sorry, I did forget. Thank you for the likes and the messages that I received on the shopping phase video. It was in depth. I went over a lot of stuff, and like I said, I'm really glad, more than ever now, I'm glad we went over speccing out heroes, builds of heroes, a loot card, and the hero card. I'm glad that's out of the way, so it should be fairly smooth sailing now that we did this. But I know a lot of people enjoyed that, so I was happy, that came out so nicely. So let's get down. So if you notice, our heroes are back over there in the dungeon. So we're really at the top of the first turn in the game, and we're going into Upkeep. So let's discuss that. Okay, and so I have our quick reference guide here if you're following along at home. The 5 phases that comprise a turn. Upkeep phase. These are very easy, and there's not a lot of steps or things you have to process during the Upkeep phase. But there's one very exciting thing that I'm going to leave for last that I always look forward to. So right here, first thing, process afflictions. Notice this first line right here. New afflictions from last turn will go into effect this turn. Okay, and I'm going to discuss this right now. So let me put this down and let me get the affliction cards. Okay, and I have our affliction cards right here. First, let me touch on what I just said. So during a turn, if one of your heroes is stricken with one of the afflictions, that won't go into effect until next turn. So no matter what they get, it doesn't affect them until the start of the new turn. That's very simple. So let's go over these afflictions real quick since we're talking about them, and I can get you acclimated to this a bit. First, notice this one up here. Okay, that is for a first degree affliction. So we're going to look at all the first degree afflictions. Of course, that's the name of the affliction. And then notice there's that warfare type again. So physical affliction, ranged affliction. So let's go through these, but you're going to notice they're all on there, and they kind of tie in with those warfare types. So bleeding is a physical affliction. Ranged, here's blurred sight affliction. Poisoned, arcane. Mythical, feared. Confusion, spiritual. And finally, raging for chaos. That's first degree. Now, if we flip these cards over, you're going to notice the 2. This is a second degree affliction. So let's take, first of all, let me get these out of the rest here, because we're going to be talking about these 2 that you have to process during the upkeep phase, bleeding and poison. So let's touch on this real quick. Let's say that Maheliac, okay, I'm going to put these down. We'll just use this mythical affliction here, feared. Let's say that Maheliac is stricken with this mythical affliction, feared. He's going to lose 2 to his base movement. Okay, so let's say maybe he still has this 2 turns later. He fights another monster, and that also gives him another mythical affliction. You simply flip the card over. Now it's a second degree, terrified. And all of these second degree, you're going to lose that D6 colored die. So that's real simple to remember. And again, as you can see from losing that, he's kind of weaker now. This is really affecting him. And I put a lot of thought into these afflictions, and you're in a dungeon. There's bad things that's going to happen to your heroes. So just know that when the heroes get a second degree affliction, you of course got to process the front, but also now the back. And all of them are the same. They're going to lose that D6 for their warfare rolls. So you can see like they're kind of weaker now. And I know what you're going to ask, and you may already know this. How do you get rid of afflictions? Remember the elixir potions? When a hero consumes 1 elixir potion, that cures them of all the afflictions they are stricken with. So it doesn't matter if they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully they don't get 5. By consuming 1 elixir potion, they are cured of all afflictions. Let's go down here and talk about these 2 that you have to process in the upkeep phase. We're going to touch more on afflictions when we get into some combat. Okay, now of course we're at the start of the game, and our rogue hero, Halum, does not have any afflictions. But to demo this, we're going to say that she does. Notice that she has a bleeding affliction. And I'm going to try to get this up and hopefully it comes into focus. What you're going to do is, it says lose 1 health at the start of every upkeep phase. So you're going to go up to her health track, and you're just going to -1 because she's bleeding. So it would be a good idea to get her a healing potion to keep her health up, but more better would be get her an elixir to consume so she can rid her body of this affliction. So that is just one of the 2 that you have to process during the upkeep phase. The other affliction that you have to process during the upkeep phase is the poisoned affliction. And I'll try to get this up here so you can see it. It's very similar to what we just saw for bleeding. If your hero is poisoned, they're going to lose 1 essence at the start of every upkeep phase. And hopefully you can see it's, again, with this, the game is big, but it's very simple things like this. And again, you would want to get Faith an elixir to cure her of that affliction. Okay, we're moving on to the next thing you have to process in upkeep. And hopefully you got that with the afflictions. So to sum it up, if any of your heroes are bleeding, if they're poisoned, process that. That's simple. Okay, we're moving right along now, and the next thing we're going to do is test torches. And it was right there. And this is very simple. Again, it's the start of the game, but for our demo here, notice that Sir Brennus has a lit torch from a previous turn, and Enwyn, our archer, has a lit torch. And remember that these are, one side you kind of like, it's in the hero's backpack, and then, you can say, okay, well, I'm going to light a torch, and you just simply, it's not an action, you just say light it, the torch is lit. However, during upkeep, you have to test if torches go out. Torches give your hero +2 to their base movement, and it's real simple. So over here for Sir Brennus, you're going to take a D12 and you're going to roll. On a result of 1 to 2, the torch is extinguished. It just goes out. And of course, anything higher, the torch can be used for another turn. So torches can really be used throughout the whole game, but if you roll a 1 or 2, they go out. So simply, Sir Brennus, okay, and that was a, 8? Perfect. His torch is going to stay lit for this forthcoming turn. Enwyn, 11. Perfect. So her torch is going to stay lit. As a side note, when any kind of, we're going to get to this during Celebration Day, but I want to say this now. When torches go out, when you consume any of those potions, you're going to place those over by the village board, so they are refreshed on Celebration Day. So they don't go back into use. You're going to set them aside because they've been used. So when you go into Celebration Day, so let's say that they both rolled a 1 and these torches went out. So you're going to put these in a pile with the other potions that have been used, to the side of the village board. The next Celebration Day, all of that is replenished. It's like, the bazaar has created more, and then it is restocked in the bazaar. Okay? I just wanted to get that out of the way and have you just remember that. Okay, the next thing we have to process in the upkeep phase is channeled special abilities. And we're going to go a little in depth for this, and I think you'll enjoy learning about special abilities. So we're going to say we're like 5 turns into the game right now. And I'm going to get a little ahead, but remember those life force tokens that I showed you, those green ones with the number? You get those by killing monsters and by completing quests, by completing tavern tasks. So what a hero can do is on their turn, they can cash in life force, kind of like XP, to gain a new special ability from the academy. So we're going to say Palum, our rogue, used enlightenment, and now she is versed with this shadow dagger. That's level 1. Of course, there's like a little icon there for you. Let's flip this over and let me explain to you about a card. So, and all these special abilities are fairly easy, but they're fun special abilities to use. So let's go over the, anatomy of this card. This might be a little bit ahead for you, but I think you'll enjoy learning it. Okay, right here, see that 2, that's the life force cost. So that's how much life force you're going to have to pay the academy to acquire this special ability. Right here, the orange 2, remember essence on the bottom of a hero card? That's what you spend to cast this. You cast, I was going to say channel, but we're going to get to that in a moment. So you're going to use 2 essence to use the special ability. Right here, this means it's, of course, level 1. It's just a level 1 special ability. Now, notice this here, this door, and this is a dungeon hallway. What that's telling us is this shadow dagger can be used in a chamber. When you see the door, think of a chamber. This can be used inside of a chamber, fighting a champion monster, or this can be used in the dungeon. If you cannot use this in one or the other, you're going to see a big red X over that, meaning that can't be used, in a chamber or hallway. And this is important. See that red arrow? A lot of the special abilities you're going to see are going to have this. And what that red arrow means is it must be channeled after use, meaning for those of you that played Magic the Gathering, it's kind of like tapping. You're going to channel that, tap it, exhaust it. So channeling is just a word I came up with, unique to Dungeon Crusade. So let's say that she used Shadow Dagger, and this is a very fun ability. So after a combat round, she can use Shadow Dagger, pays the 2 essence, and then there's like this little chart here. You're going to roll 1d8, and it's a chance for Palum to do extra damage here. So let's say that she used that. She was fighting a minion. She used that. You're going to channel it. Put that in her player area. During upkeep, you unchannel it to use again for the forthcoming turn. It's simple as that. So hopefully, I'm glad actually we did touch on that, so you learned even more about Dungeon Crusade with that. Okay, we're going to move on to the next thing we have to process. And actually, before we move on, I want to touch on something about special abilities. There's that red X I was talking about. Of course, this is counterattack. All of your heroes start with counterattack, okay? Notice the green arrow. That means that ability never has to be channeled, that it can be used over and over again without channeling, okay? And of course, counterattack during the monster phase, this is when you're going to use that. And we're going to get to that. And so for an example, there's not a lot of these. This is actually one of the expansion heroes here. This is Matari, our bard hero, and she has this ability called Twisted Melody. Very cool ability. You're going to notice kind of the same kind of layout, but notice here it has that green arrow, meaning that this never has to be channeled. So this is a great special ability that you can use with her. We never have to channel it. Okay, and we're at one of the final steps in the upkeep phase, and this is the thing I was looking forward to, and I always look forward to when I play. We are going to assign the initiative tokens. Let me get those real quick and show you those. These are the initiative tokens. So you can see they're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And of course, if you have the expansion heroes, you'll have initiative tokens 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for playing Mega Dungeon Crusade. So what you're going to do with these is, our hero cards are down here. I'm going to get to those. You're going to survey the dungeon. What do you want to accomplish for this forthcoming turn? And you're going to place these on who you want to activate first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. There's much, much more to this. Let me put these down and let's discuss this.